Hey guys, happy to have you here. As you might have noticed lately, I've been trying out different things, and today is another thing, a new thing that we will be trying out. Or mainly me showing you something new. And what I mean by that is that we are drawing people today. Usually I show my animal creations, animal related content, and even on Instagram, I don't really show anything that I draw that's human related. If I do draw humans, it's usually for myself or whenever I draw my friends or something for friends, then I will draw something that is human-like or human. But yeah, so today we're gonna go and dive deeper into this, and I'm gonna expose my human drawing skills, but it is a little bit different since I am still trying to figure out my style of stylizing people. I tend to shift a lot and I can't figure out what is the best way for me to draw people. And yeah, so if I'm being a bit shifty with the styles here, it's because I'm still trying to figure all that out. What I like to do is usually just loosely sketch out the shapes and forms of the person that I'm drawing, and here you can see I'm trying to figure out what's the best composition. I knew I was gonna draw 4 people here, so I am kind of spacing them out and seeing how I can work the poses into this sketchbook spread, because in my head I had a few ideas of the poses that I wanted to do, but I also was trying to figure out how I could best place them in the page so that it looks a bit more flowier, you know, it's not super random. That's why I'm not really doing any details here at this stage. I am just putting them in their places, and you know, if I see something that doesn't work, I can easily fix it, and it's not like I'm adding too much detail where you are sad of letting it go. So that's also one reason, and of course just the looseness then is set and you have a nicer foundation. Here you will see that I was struggling a little bit with the hands and the fingers. I couldn't decide what would be the best way of drawing them. I wanted some simplicity but also some details for these pieces, so it's sometimes hard to find a nice in-between. But yeah, why are we sketching people today? So I can finally explain this a little bit more, and it's not random. It's also not random that I showed my face at the start. Hello, it's me, Karo, and I decided that maybe it's time to switch up my profile picture here on YouTube. I'm still not sure, and I would love to know which one of these you would like to see as the profile picture, and of course I will be painting them. But if I did that this video, then we would have an epically long video, so perhaps I need to do a second part, so I don't know. And I still can't decide if I want to do them traditionally or digitally, because both are fun. Maybe I'll just merge them together. So since this is for a profile picture, I just wanted to do the face and maybe some hands to have something going on. So this is why we're just doing the bust portion. And for this first one, I decided that perhaps she's looking at a little crown. At first I thought maybe it will be a star, but a crown seemed more personal. You know, if I sign something, you will see a little crown somewhere, so it's more me. So I added that. And for this first one, you can definitely tell that I was a little bit nervous and I was taking things more cautiously. It's always interesting to compare, I guess, realism with stylization, since I think I've done so many drawings of people where it's easier for me to draw something that I see very similar, I guess. So sometimes my brain can't really figure out what to do when I want it to be more goofy. I don't know, like have simpler eyes, have them bigger, or have a simple mouth. I don't know. It sometimes feels harder than if I would have to draw something in real life, or not real life, realistically, because you still have to mind the proportions. If you draw big eyes, you still have to make them look like they make sense. You can't just make them huge and look wonky. So I don't know, it's such a thing that I'm not really that confident in. So I constantly want to change things. I am not really sure if I like it, but I never know where to stop in the changing process, because if I don't like anything, then which one of them is good? You know, how do I know when to stop? I don't know. So it's a bit of a learning process, but yeah, why I keep bringing out the realistic faces is just because I think I don't draw people a lot, because when I was in school a few years back, then we had to draw a lot of portraits of real people, of also natural people, I don't know, of busts. So then I think I was more confident, you know, you just have to replicate what you see in front of you. But now when you have to bring something in that doesn't really exist, then it's a whole new thing. And with animals, I know how to do it, but with people, it's a bit of a trickier process. But I would love to know if this is something you would want to see, if I should really get out of my comfort zone and draw more people, because sometimes I do feel like I could push some parts of my drawings more if I included people, but again, I'm not really that confident. But I guess to battle that, you just have to draw more. Yeah, that's my rant on that. I also haven't really drawn people in these few years that I left school, just because when I was in school, why I started drawing animals was because we were drawing so many things that had to be realistic, so many still life paintings, so many paintings of people and drawings of people. So I just got bored of all that, and whenever I was drawing in my free time, I just wanted something completely different, and I loved animals, so that was a thing that I kept for myself. So now, since it's been a few years and I haven't really drawn people that intensely, I think it is time that I could come back to them and could figure this whole stylization thing as well. So now we're on to the next sketch, and this one was a little bit different. I wanted her to look at the viewer and have a bit of a different flow for the hair. But also, if you noticed at the start, I had two sketchbooks. So I said I will start a new sketchbook, but I am starting two new sketchbooks, kinda because I wanted to try different ones from the previous one that I was using, even though I love that one. But yeah, I decided to try two new different ones. So this one is a new one because last time in the last video you saw me use a crescent sketchbook, but now we're trying out this Illo sketchbook, and this one is really smooth. And what I noticed with the crescent one is that it has a bit more of a coarser paper. It's still kind of smooth, but when I draw with my purple pencil at the end, the lines aren't as dense, I guess. They seem to have some kind of a texture, and I'm not really sure if I like it fully, because when I'm scanning in the work, then it's a bit annoying because I have to go and fill in some of the lines manually. So I don't think this one would have the trouble, but the crescent one doesn't bleed through for the alcohol markers, so that's a big plus. So now I really have to think about how to work with both of these sketchbooks, but it's just interesting to see how much of your skill can transfer on different paper, because for me, if I use a very textured paper, I don't like how my strokes look, so it's something to keep in mind. So a thing I noticed while I was drawing these sketches is that with each sketch I was more confident and faster with the strokes and didn't have as many of sketch or lines under the previous sketch, because for the first one I think I was going over and over, but when I got to the last one I did that less, so that's a plus. Yay. But yeah, I think confidence really plays a role in these types of things. When we love what we do, it goes faster and easier. But when we're scared of something or just not as confident, then it's a bit trickier, and I think it can also tend to bleed through in the drawing as well. You can maybe see that the lines are a bit more hectic, because usually I'm pretty clean with my lines, but in these ones, even though I like the sketches, they are more sketchy than usual. But here you can see for the hand I really went in with it. But also I think the relief that this is something that I can still fix if I paint over it also helped me, because now when I'm looking at the sketches I still see a lot of mistakes, a lot of things I would change, and yeah, I guess that's just part of the process. I'm gonna be honest, this third pose was more of a filler pose than an actual idea, but I also like it a lot. I don't know why, but I think maybe because I was being more loose with the idea behind it, that maybe that made me like it more than the ones that had more attachments to it, to the sketches, you know. Sometimes I feel like we tend to add so much into a piece that we hate it more than we should just because of that. It's something where we put so many expectations, and when they don't turn out the way we want them to, then we are way more disappointed than if we were just drawing something and not have any ideas or expectations of the piece. So I think whenever we doodle or just draw for ourselves, you like it more than whenever you have this specific idea. So I don't know if it makes sense, but I think that's a big part why I draw things without really having any sketches or thumbnails before, because I really want to immerse myself into the process and just finding out the piece by just drawing it and just figuring it out on the way. I think that's something I love. You know, it's almost like life. You never know what will happen, so you just go with it, and drawing sometimes tend to be similar. Even if I have a concept idea, I won't really flesh it out, because what if in the process I find something else that maybe works better or I like it better? I'm not gonna just discard it if that's not what I thought, or if that's not something I thought for the concept. So, you know, I want it to be flowy in that sense as well. Okay, that hair gave me some issues. But anyways, I haven't really talked about why I'm drawing myself like this. It is me, it is inspired by me, and I did take some reference photos of myself, but I kind of mixed them a lot or changed them a lot. The hand positions had to be changed, especially for the composition, for the spreads. And of course, my hair isn't as flowy as I'm drawing here, but there are elements that I wanted to include, like, of course, my curtain bangs. And sometimes I have this annoying piece at my curtain bangs that just wants to go away from the whole bang situation and doesn't know where to go, so that's why I'm drawing one strand in front. And sometimes I love to add a bow in my hair, so I drew a bow here. I could go completely bonkers and add a lot of other things, but I wanted to keep this simple, especially because if we are thinking that it is a profile picture, then it's gonna be super tiny, and the less we have, the better it might show up. So if we have a lot of colors, a lot of details, then it's just gonna become a little smushy. So I wanted to keep it simple and think about that I will have mainly 3 colors in it. Basically a background color, hair color, the skin color, and the shirt, and then some details for the crown or something like that. And it's already kind of a lot, so I didn't want to add even more. If I started adding some more details, some more, I don't know, like horns or wings, I don't know what I would add, or some galaxy in my hair, I don't know. But anyways, I didn't want to be super random with that, so I kept it quite simple. But I did add a little sparkle for the eye for the third sketch, and I think it's just because I wanted something that symbolizes the curiosity, the the joy, the sparkle that I have for the world, for my pieces. So maybe that's why I like that sketch a lot. But yeah, I think it added a little bit of a nicer touch. But I did leave the other eye empty. Oopsies. And this last one, I think I did it quite quickly compared to the other ones. As I said, it felt like I was being more confident. But sometimes I think with confidence, at least for me, the pieces don't really look the best. And I think it's just because maybe I am already tired and I drew 3 other sketches and I just want to get this over with. But I think with confidence comes simplicity for me, and I just wish this piece had a bit more of that nice flowiness that I had in the other one. I'm not sure how to explain it better, but I still like it. I just feel like it needs something more. So if I do another part where I paint them, then I will keep that in mind, that I want to change some things with the sketch as well for this last one. But yeah, we are basically done. I really hope you enjoyed the sketching process and me drawing people. So let me know what you think and which one it was your favorite. And I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!